And good evening, everyone. It's Friday, May 10th, 2019. How are you? Hope you had a great work week. As always, it's at this point of the week when I tell you we're not done yet. Now it's time to jump into our side hustle, our grind, and let's make it happen. Let's make that magic happen so we can get rid of our 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and live the life we want to live. And however, if 8 to 5 Monday through Friday is the life you want to live, by all means, continue living that or get there. But that's fine, and that's fine. And while you're doing that, you should always be giving that 100%. Never give 110%, because if you give 110%, well, you know what I say about that. You always had that extra 10%, and that's not right. So give it your all. So again, welcome. It is Friday, and typically on Fridays we do Forbes Friday, and that's what the title says here. We're doing Forbes Friday, and today we're going to talk about Jeff Bezos, Blue Moon, Zillow. We're going to talk about comic books and taking it straight out of the Forbes.com website and the Forbes.com Daily Dozen, the Forbes magazine, and everything else in between. So let's dive right in. So by now, if you've seen any kind of news at all today, you kind of know what happened. Jeff Bezos told the crowd at the Washington Convention Center in Seattle to hear the billionaire talk about his goals for Blue Origin. And Blue Origin is a space exploration company. Basically, their first thing is to send humans up on tour, the human tourist space tourism. That he's going to do that. Send them up about 100 and something miles up into suborbital flight, but technically enough for it to be space. And it's basically just going to go up and come right back down. Past last week, there was actually a test flight of that, and it was pretty cool if you didn't get to see that. Anyway, so here's what he announced. We're going back to the moon, and he wants to get us there within 5 years. He wants to get us back to the moon within 5 years, or a correction, 5 years, 2024. And he unveiled this prototype. It's called Blue Moon, and it's just kind of a lunar lander, and it's bigger. It's like a small house, and it's right now they're trying to set it up where they can take supplies, and then for the manned mission to follow up right behind it, already have the supplies in place. They can then build the beginnings of a colony, the beginnings of a lunar station, the beginnings of, well, a place to live for forever for human beings there on the moon. And Jeff Bezos looks like he's going to be the one to do it. I know Elon Musk and SpaceX, I mean, they're on the hunt, but theirs is a little, I guess now at this point, unless he's got something up his sleeve and something he's been working on, but pretty much Jeff Bezos from Amazon, he's got this one in the can. He's got this under wraps. He's got this under control. It's going to be his prize to take. But Elon Musk, I'm not going to count him out. Pretty soon, I'm more sure we're going to hear something that he's been working on something, or SpaceX is getting ready to do something. But lately, SpaceX has just been trying to get ferry humans between the Earth and the International Space Station. And again, that's just going to be a jumping point. Jumping point for Mars, jumping point for the moon, jumping point for beyond. So let's see what happens. We're getting into interesting times, everyone. We're getting into the future, and the future is, well, it's here. It's now. And let's see what the future brings us. So don't be surprised if one day you hear Alexa, launch this rocket, and poof, off it goes. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see. Uber is going public. So they went public today. They were supposed to open somewhere around $45 a share. I didn't get a chance to check this out. So that's going to be interesting, but that's for a different time. Next, we have Lion Forge Comics and Oni Press, two indie comic book publishers. They're deciding to merge, and guess what? Why? Well, because they can. Why two indies are merging into one huge? Well, I guess the time is right, because thanks to is going more mainstream thanks to the attention given to them by the superhero blockbusters, DC and Marvel. So let's see what these two bring out, and who knows, maybe they might make the jump into something permanent on television or something on streaming, or maybe take that big leap and decide that the movies is where they want to be. So we'll see where that goes with them. But kudos, a longtime comic book lover, and it seems that things are starting to come back around. Collected some baseball cards in the late 80s, early 90s, and then that kind of all got saturated. That market got saturated. Now it's making a turnaround, so it's starting to come back. So let's see what happens. And the same thing with the comic book industry. Longtime comic book collector. I mean, I've got well, I had the original Blackhawk before it was Blackhawk that we know in the Avengers. It was Blackhawk. He was a World War II pilot. It was a great comic book series with that. Now, so we're going to be on the lookout for comics. So keep that on your forefront, keep that on your radar. And if you were ever collecting comics or you still have comics, it might be time to take them out of the boxes, dust them off, see what's good, see what's coming up. See, you might have some great prizes. You might have some great buried treasure there, but then again, save that for the grandkids. It'll be bigger. I mean, look at great grandma Queen Elizabeth II. She's worth $500 million. So look what she's leaving Archie. Alrighty, now let's keep moving. Now, the next thing I talked about is Zillow and home flipping online. Zillow, that's right. It wants to enter the house flipping game and it's expanding its buying efforts to Los Angeles, Miami, and Austin. That's just to begin with. Zillow, folks, I've talked about this and I've talked about this in the past. And if you've seen any of my videos over the past couple of years, you've seen I have talked about this and nobody wanted to listen. Guess what? Now it's starting to happen, and maybe it is time to start to listen. Folks, the real estate market is about to get turned on its ear. If Zillow is going to flip houses, they're going to flip houses online. They're going to do everything from beginning to end online. Obviously, they can't renovate the homes. They're going to have to hire somebody, but I guarantee you they're going to put the contracts out online and see who can fulfill those contracts and do that. But when it comes time to sell, they're going to do that online too. And guess who's not going to get a cut? That's right, real estate agents. I've said this before. I've said this countless of times. They're going to get X'd out if they don't do something to innovate and move themselves into a position that's going to keep them around and keep them relevant. And sure, they've made money over the years. They've made lots of money, different markets, the commercial real estate, residential, and so on, back and forth, the housing boom, the housing bust. But when one side shifts, it shifts to something else, and so on and so on, and it'll just bounce back and forth. Well, guess what? There is a new disruptor, and that is online. It's about time. And that disruptor is Zillow is leading the path there with looking for, well, how to figure out how to sell something when you can't sell it because it's getting sold online and you're not getting your cut. So the time is now. You're getting warned. And if you're not paying attention, well, guess what? You can just sit on that curb and wonder what happened after the parade is long by and all you see is the confetti on the ground. That's up to you, real estate agents. And again, there's other industries that are just prime for disruption, and it's going to happen. It will happen. If it's happening now in the housing, it's going to happen. And well, automobiles is pretty much already there. You can go up to those I forgot the name of that company. You can buy a car online, the whole 9 yards, and then you can go to the kiosk and pick up your car, or you can have it delivered, one or the other. But again, that's going straight online, and guess what? It's going to happen. It's going to all be online. Sure, car dealerships have their inventory online, but you still have to go there and pick it up. You still have to go sign the papers. You still have to do all of that face-to-face, in person. And guess what? Like, I don't like going to big box stores. I detest going to the big box stores. I also detest having to go to the dealership to buy a car. So I am just chomping at the bit to buy a car 100% online, not have to see a salesperson, and not to go, hey, well, here's my manager, meet my manager, shake my manager's hand. Oh, this is our finance manager, check him out. Oh, this is our undercoating manager. This is our soundproofing manager. This is our clear window manager. That's freaking nonsense. But then again, they try to upsell because, again, the margins are so low for cars that anything they do extra, even the financing, they get a bigger cut out of that than you do out of the vehicle. Down payments, that's all cash in hand for them. So think about it. So that's why I'm chomping at the bit the moment automobiles. But I'm talking about home flippings. Real estate agents, it's happening now. It's up to you to do something. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I have not been warning you. Other industries, pharmacist, pharmacy, get ready. Automation's coming, and that is just a Las Vegas automated bartender away from replacing you. I guarantee it, it's going to happen. So it's time to start either learning some programming languages or start dealing with the uniqueness of the online and become a specialist there in that. So folks, listen, it's Friday. It's time to party. It's time to relax, but it's also time to hustle. It's time to grind our side hustle. It's time to pay attention there. That's exactly what I'm going to do this weekend. So everyone, oh, and I have my daughter home from college, about time. And so we're going to be tearing down the studio because this is her room now until she goes back. So I'll be in a new location starting Monday. But between now and then, y'all have a great weekend. Y'all be safe. Don't drink and drive. Swim with a buddy, the whole 9 yards. You know all of that. But also, keep hustling, keep grinding, because the only way you're going to get better and things are going to get better is if you do that. So get out there and do it. Make it happen. Listen, until Monday, I'm Dave. Thanks for watching. Let's have a chat. This has been the Friday Forbes edition.